Welcome back everyone. I am back with another video continuing on the noob series. What do you do when you hit level 65? So right off the start here you can see my character. She just hit 65. I don't have any gear or anything. The first thing you're going to do when you hit 65 is go to your Vanguard Requests. You're going to go off to the side and select the Vanguard Initiative Credit Merchant and click Teleport. It's going to teleport you to this spot right here in High Watch. It'll pop up in just a second. And loading. There it is. This is where it's going to take you. From here, you're going to walk down this path and you're going to go up those stairs over yonder and you're going to find Dougal. Dougal's going to give you some fresh arms and legs. He's going to give you brand new gear, new swords, new armor, everything you need, new inner armor, and you'll figure that out. So he's going to give you all the armor you need, and you're going to pick your stats. It's not like leveling where you automatically just get assigned your stats. This time, now that you're 65, you have to pick your stats. And I highly recommend you do research on your class and try to figure out what kind of stats you need. This is not a class guide. It's just, level 65. So you need to do your own research as far as what kind of stats you need to do, what you need to pick, and what type of jewelry you need to run. But this is basically where you get your jewelry and your armor, and right here, and you pick your stats, and that's where you start. After you get this armor, the first thing that you need to do is take what money you have, and if you're not elite, then you need to acquire some prime battle solutions. If you are elite, then you should already have those for free. And elite or not, you're going to need to acquire a whole bunch of health pots and maybe a couple mana pots as well, but you're definitely going to need health pots. Because right after you get your gear, you're going to go on this long story quest called the Apex Quest. And you'll find this guy right here in High Watch. And this is where you start it. He gives you an invitation, and you're going to get teleported to Velica. And you're going to start the Apex Quest. The Apex Quest is going to take you roughly an hour-ish, maybe a bit longer if you're new. But what it does is, at the end of it, you unlock new skills that are called your Apex skills. That's what they are referred to as. And some class, like every class gets some skills. They're all different. They're all unique. You'll have like combat skills, and you'll also have new passives. So make sure you read your new passives you obtain as well. That's all very important to your class play. But after that, you're going to get, throughout the story quest, you're going to get a whole bunch of gems and stuff, which you can sell to a merchant for money. And the first thing that I recommend you doing after completing Apex is take those gems that you acquired, go sell them for gold, and then you're going to use that gold to buy crystals to put into your weapon and your armor to help increase your defense and increase your combat abilities. There is obviously the Vanguard Credit Merchant is also where you can get crystals, and that's where you will normally get crystals. But if you're a brand new player, you're not going to have any points for that. You get those points by completing Vanguard Requests. So since you're new, you're going to have to sell those gems and buy the crystals off the broker. After you do that, the next thing you're going to do is work on the other main quest. It should have been off to the side of your bar when you claimed your new gear, which should be enemies foreign and domestic. And what you do is you talk to Tera, and he's going to have you complete a world event, which should be under your quick play tab in your menu, same place as the Vanguard Requests. The world events, there's couple different kinds. There's flying ones, there's normal ones, then there are purple ones. I don't know what they're actually called. We all just call them purple because the bar is purple. The special ones, the purple ones, they appear There's two of them. There's Avenging Talons, as you can see here, and then there's also Velika's Defense. Those appear 30 minutes apart, and they appear once an hour. To progress this mission, you have to do either a special mission or a normal mission. A flying mission will not progress it. And basically all you do is you go fight these monsters or whatever they have you fighting until you fill the bar up. Once you fill the bar up, you can claim a treasure chest or whatever, and then you can go complete the mission with Tera. And once you do that, he's going to grant you access to some merchants that are outside the Velika command room, which I'll show you in just a second. The only merchant out of these three that's going to be worth using is going to be the one on the far right when you're looking at them. You'll see which one I'm talking about in just a minute. She's kind of in the purple dress or whatever. These merchants use the credits that you obtain by doing world missions, which you'll find you'll be doing those in your free time once you run out of dungeon runs or whatever. But the one on the far right will give you, you can buy materials that you need to upgrade your gear and stuff, which I'll also show again later. After you complete this mission, the next thing you're going to do is start focusing on your skill glyphs. Your skill glyphs are basically how you spec and customize your combat skills. Some of them you can like increase damage or decrease cooldown, stuff like that. I'm gonna show mine up on the screen here in just a second, but as you'll notice when I sift through them, some of them are going to be locked. The main way you unlock these is through a Vanguard Quest where it says Hunt Brutal Naga Battle Masters, and I'll show that on the screen here in a bit as well. But you want to do Hunt Brutal Naga Battle Masters specifically because it's a BAM hunt and they're the easiest to fight. Trust me on that. It'll save you time. Basically, you're just gonna hunt them, hunt the 10 that it wants you to do, and at the end it'll reward you with 35 Dawnstorm tokens. The Dawnstorm tokens, once you collect 70 of those, you can purchase a superior glyph. The Dawnstorm tokens are like a little shop or whatever, or they're like tokens, right? And you can purchase superior glyphs that will, some of them will decrease the amount of glyph points needed to spec them. Some of them will have even greater effects, like increased damage by an additional 5% as an example, or something like that. However, I do believe that some classes have ones that are not obtainable that way. There are some that you will have to obtain through the Vanguard Initiative Merchant, not the Crystal Merchant, but the one right next to him, the one where you kind of like, you know, spawn in that corner. You'll talk to the chick instead of the guy. And if you look through her shop, she will offer some class-based glyph tokens once you get some Vanguard credits, and you'll use those to unlock any that you cannot unlock with the Dawnstorm tokens. Once you collect all your glyphs, then you're basically gonna be ready to run dungeons. Once you reach this point, basically all the game entails is enchanting your gear and running dungeons. I suppose there is PvP, but I'm not a PvP person. It's not very popular. But anyway, let's stay on track for now. As far as like what you need to do to progress yourself, here in a bit I will play like me sifting through the enchant option on some of my gear. But your gear will need certain materials, and the materials are dropped in the dungeons. And different dungeons drop different materials, so you'll have to run a couple different dungeons every day in order to get what you need. And there's two ways to run dungeons. Either you can instance match, well, there's three. Let me take that back. There's three. You can instance match, you can LFG, which I will also display on the video later, or you can just create a group through your friends list. if you already have made some friends, if you have friends playing with you, or if you join a guild, you know, you can just like create a group and then you guys can agree on a dungeon and just walk in it. A dungeon, like 99% of the dungeons you run in this game are going to be 5-man dungeons. There have been 7-man dungeons in the past, although there's not any at the moment. There are a few of the lower level dungeons are 3-man dungeons, and there is a 20-man raid in the game as well. But for noobs, I would recommend doing the 3-man dungeons first. If you're elite, you can. If you're silver elite, I believe you get 3 lower level dungeon runs, which is anything item level 448 and lower. And then if you're gold elite, you get 4 that are 448 and lower. And then it's like 3 above 448 and 2 above 448 respectively. Something like that. But anyway, as noobs, do the lower level 3-man dungeons first, because they're not as like mech complicated. That way you can kind of get used to being in a dungeon and you know, just kind of get a feel for it, because up to this point you haven't really had to run dungeons in the way that you run dungeons at level 65. It's going to be a new way of gameplay that you're going to have to adapt to. Also, as far as your gear goes, there's going to be materials that you need to craft. For new players, I highly recommend you all do smelting. That way you can craft golden derricks and eventually golden plates. I will make a separate video on crafting in general to go over that. But just know, for this video's purpose, quick and simple, I recommend smelting for new people. As far as back to dungeon runs, as you can see, I just opened up the Vanguard Initiative Merchant, and there were some scrolls in there. You can also buy with, you know, initiative credits, and those scrolls have the ability to reset your dungeon runs. So like, say you have gold elite and you run 3 dungeons, you run 3 runs and you're kind of done, you've done all your dungeons, then you can use that scroll and reset them, and you can run the same dungeon 3 more times. That way, you know, you can keep being productive, keep getting the stuff you need. Although I will say those scrolls are very expensive credit-wise. But even with a scroll, you will eventually run out of dungeon runs. And at least if you're new, you can make alt characters, and as you get experience, you'll have more of those, and you can keep running forever. But as new players, you will eventually run out of dungeon runs if you have like a full 8-hour day to play or something like that. Like on the weekends. And once you do run out of dungeon runs, then you can spend your time either working on like gathering and progressing your crafting and stuff, or you can do world missions or world events. Yeah. And the world events have their own like different tokens and stuff they offer. There's different things you can get out of the shops for those and stuff like that, plus the credits you can earn to help get the materials for your gear. I will make a video, like a separate video about that as well. I'll probably just mash it in with the crafting video. But I think that's pretty much it. Between dungeons, progressing your crafting, and world events, you won't be running dungeons all day necessarily, but you'll definitely have plenty of things to do to progress yourself. I will make a separate video as far as crafting, world events, and some other smaller things that you can do in your free time. For now, that's basically it. From this point forward, you just run dungeons, meet people, upgrade gear, rinse, repeat. So that's pretty much it. Good luck to you all.